Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I have a packed day today. How you can not have a job but be so busy is beyond me. So I have this live stream now, and then I have an appointment at 11, and then I have this I was mentioning before, our company gives us outplacement services. So there's a half an hour Zoom group meeting, and then I have my coaching meeting also. And in between all of that, I'm trying to get all the clips ready for the celebratory live that's happening on Sunday. On Sunday, what I want to do is go through my most popular videos that my shorts that are on YouTube, and there may be some special guests that are going to be there. And I also want either for tomorrow or Saturday, depending how much I get across how much I get done. I want to put a bunch of remastered clips together that were from my first postings on X. So I'm doing all of this because the 1 year is coming up. I actually created my YouTube channel on August 23rd last year, but I didn't post anything until September 1st or so. So it's going to be a fun one. I have a lot coming up. Lots of planning and really fun videos and live streams coming. So let me say hi to everyone. Hi, Lizzie and Carol. Hi, Margaret. I hope you're well. Hi, Teaspoon. I hope you're all doing well. Hi, Ocean Cat. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, we're going to have a good one today. Hi, Peekaboo. Hi, Sue. Hi, Trish. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Hi, Pinky Lynn. Just as a reminder, everyone, I ask that in lieu of, oops, no, now you guys know my secret. Just kidding. I ask that in lieu of super chats and super stickers, that everybody considers donate, or if you're considering it, to please consider donating to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Their information is on the screen if you need to contact them, and the link to donate is in the description of this video. So let's see. Let me see what everyone is saying. Hi, Gilly. Oops. Hi, Gilly. Thanks for being here. And hi, Allegedly Tarot. Hi, Coral Sand. Lizzie. Oh, thanks for trying, Lizzie, and I hope you sleep well. Hi, Rosalie. It's all good. Oh no. Oh, Lemon had a bad date yesterday. If you feel comfortable telling us about it, oh Lemon, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Um, oh my gosh, you guys want to hear a story of a bad date that I had? Okay, I'm gonna. I don't know. Should I share it? I think you guys will get a kick out of it. And oh my goodness. Okay, so dating apps are a horror story. Okay, like they they really are. Um, they're well used by people with narcissistic tendencies. And let me explain why. When you're chatting with people and you've never met them before, the way you hold someone's attention is with the words that you say. And who is really good at love bombing and charming using words with no actions followed, right? People that are cluster B. So people that are cluster B are just well suited to be more successful on the apps. And I think that's why, it's survival of the fittest in there, right? Like if you have someone that's healthy and they're approaching you in a healthy way, but then you're in a vulnerable state and there's someone that's like, you are the best person ever, and they've never even met you, but you're vulnerable, you might be attracted to that. So, anyways, before I continue, yeah, I know, Lisa, where's Steve? I don't know. I hope he's well. Hi, Lulu's. Hi, Lulu's mom. Hi, Just a Jen. Oh, you're about to board a plane. Well, I hope you have a great trip, Just a Jen. In the UK, I think it's 8 hours ahead right now. They're 8 hours ahead, right? So it's 5 PM maybe? Thank you, Gilly. So I asked you one time and you said it. So I've always said Gilly, but then I see in other live streams people say Jilly, and then I wonder, am I saying it right? But thank you for confirming that it's Gilly and I'm saying it right. Thank you. Hi, Kim. Yeah. Let's see on the chat. But what's with the arm waving all over the place? Isn't that a good question? Good morning, Maggie. Pinky Lynn says, "My date spilled his drink and never asked me out again." Well, later. I never wanted to talk to you anyways. Oh my goodness. Hi, Natalie. Obsession with Trion Belisario. I don't know who or what that is, Natalie. If you could drop it in the chat, um, maybe I could figure it out, but I don't know who or what that is. Sorry. All right. So you guys want to hear my worst date? I mean, it wasn't the worst date. It was just the worst date in recent history. And even that was like 3 years ago, maybe. So, oh my goodness, where do I even begin? So it was going really well. Okay, it was going really well through the chats, and that already should be a red flag. Okay, because I haven't even met this person, and they're sweet talking me, right? And I say to this person, his profile says that he's 5'10". Okay. And like, look, I don't care. Right. But it's nice if they're tall, but whatever. Right. So I ask him, "Are you really 5'10"? And he's like, "Yes. Is that a problem? Is that really important to you?" I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to decide what shoes to wear." Right. Like, I don't want to be taller, and if they're shorter, I'm much more comfortable coming up in flats. Okay, so then I go to the mall and I'm at Aldo and I buy 5-inch platform heels. Okay, because I'm 5'4". So if I'm 5 inches longer than 5'9", it's good. You guys, I show up and I am like heads and shoulders taller than this guy. And I'm much more angry at the deceit and the fact that that I bought and I'm wearing these 5-inch platform high heels for nothing. Like, I could have been here in flats and still looked cute, but have been comfortable. So then I was like, "Okay, you know what? Let's move forward. That's okay. That's okay." And I was okay with it, right? Like, it's fine. And then the guy oh, I don't even I haven't told this story in a long time, so I'm trying to remember what happened next. So then I get home from what I thought was a good date, right? And I met this guy on Bumble, and I get home, literally I walk into my home and I get a notification from Hinge that he liked me on Hinge. And I was like, "Dude, what?" So this means that the guy went home, got on a dating app immediately after what I thought was a good date, and then sent me a notification on it. So then I sent him a message back like, "Hey, we just went on a date, right?" Like, I'm the same person. And he was like, "Oh, I was just trying to be cute and send it to you on Hinge." And I was like, "But why did if we had a good date, why did you get home and immediately get on Hinge?" And he was like, "Well, you were on there because it shows that you were active." And I was like, "I was active because I was checking the notification I got from you." And then this was the guy's mistake because now I have access to two of his profiles and two different ages, two different heights, both lies. The lies are there. He looked nothing also like his picture, and just just that was that. That was that. I mean, there was another lie that came up later that within 3 days, so the guy lied to me 2 days, let's say. Within 2 days, he lied to me 3 times. The 3rd time, I was done. So, it's always so important, like, to have discernment, and that's I don't know how everyone is, where they are in terms of their faith and their beliefs, but I pray, and I always pray for discernment that things that are in the darkness, let them come to light. That's that's the most powerful thing because I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be fooled. I don't want to be tricked. I don't want to invest in something, meaning my time, my energy, my love, my emotions, if it's just not um if it's just not good and not healthy and toxic. Yeah. I don't like when people love bomb either, Lizzie B. I don't. I don't. Okay, Natalie says Patrick J. Adams' wife. I will need to look into that, Natalie. I haven't checked that out. Um, people, and I can only say because of my experience with my stepmom, who is a malignant narcissist, and I believe Megan is a malignant narcissist because their behaviors are the same. They are envious of everything and everyone, and they're envious of women that have men that they're slightly interested in, and it's not even that they might be interested in this person, but that they feel they have ownership. Like, I would imagine if this is the case with Patrick J. Adams' wife, that Megan feels she has some sort of ownership over Patrick J. Adams because of how they worked closely together, and it was her love interest, and I think she would see the wife as infringing on her territory. But I would have to look into more on that. She was Spencer on Pretty Little Liars. I never watched that show. It's one that's on my list to watch, and I'll have to check into that. Um, Honesty and Truth says obvious control at engagement interview. We knew. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Janet. Yeah, first lie, something mundane like height. Like, dude, just tell me and we can both be comfortable, you know? Like, you won't have to have anxiety that I don't that you're I'm gonna be shocked when I see you and I can show up in really cute flats. Oh, Lemon says, went to a baseball game and live music. I wanted to see another place. He said he didn't want to, and I said, okay. I called an Uber and he said, okay, bye, and just left and didn't wait for my Uber to come. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Lemon says he wanted to drop me off, and I said, "No, I wasn't comfortable with that." Absolutely, like, I don't get in people's cars that I don't know. Don't do it. Don't do it because they're in control. They can drive it who knows where. Um, yeah, that's just my advice. Oh, it's thundering by you, Carol? Oh, I love weather, like stormy weather when I can be home. Mild stormy weather, of course, where there's not like potential damage that could happen to buildings and things. We are having a heat wave in Southern California, so it's going to be incredibly hot over the next couple of days here. Um, Pinky Lynn says, "I can't date a man skinnier than me. It bothers me." Thanks, Natalie. Carrie says, "What do you think about Harry seeking a wreath for VJ Day privately? Obnoxious or genuine?" I mean, I think the underlying question is how did the story get out? Because if Harry was behind the story getting out, then that's not genuine. If he wouldn't want attention for it if it was genuine, in my opinion. Shandy says she still controls him. They won't split. Am I right? I think she still controls him. They haven't been doing as many appearances lately, so it's hard to tell what's happening in their relationship now, but I feel and this is just kind of my gut feeling. I don't think Harry I don't think Harry will leave unless he has some type of support from friends and family. I mean, he literally can't leave. Where is he gonna go? And Megan, as soon as something better shows up, she'll dump him in a second. Yeah. Agreed, Carol. That's rude. What happened to old Lemon's date was absolutely rude. Yes. Blah blah blah. Frankie says, "Come to Northern Arizona. We have crazy rainstorms." Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. What did I miss about Teaspoon? Teaspoon, sorry if I missed anything, but Peekaboo is saying I'll light a candle for you. I hope everything's okay. Oh, you have a test for September 8th. What test are you taking, Teaspoon? How did I miss this? I don't know what you mean, tune the news, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, everyone. So let's get into the article at hand. I have a lot to talk about today. As I was going through this article, I went down multiple rabbit holes, and really I'm only going to talk about, I don't know, 40% of this article. There's a whole lot that happened that I didn't even broach the surface. This was one that was published just a couple days ago in the Daily Mail. It's titled Inside Meghan's Tendency to Control, According to a Royal Insider: How the Duchess Sought to Master Every Aspect of Her Life and even had a careful plan for how she would out her relationship with Harry. This is things that we've all heard about before. And this is one of the most fascinating things I feel about Meghan, because say what you say about her and her narcissism, she's strategic. She had a lot of this planned, and to follow through with years worth of plans. I mean, part of it is luck, but part of it is true strategy. And the flip side of this is that Megan is also incredibly impulsive. So, how someone can be so impulsive and so strategic, it's always just such an interesting combination to me. The article begins and it says, by all accounts, Megan's life story so far could be considered a modern day fairy tale. Megan had a Cinderella esque rise, growing up as a young girl in Los Angeles before she arrived at the palace and became the Duchess of Sussex. Okay, everyone, let's get into the wisecracks here. Because there's a lot you can say here. Megan had a modern day fairy tale. I don't know. I don't. Which character is she in this fairy tale? And Cinderella-esque rise? What? What character in Cinderella would she be? I mean, down to the wearing of the shoes, right? Allegedly, and in my opinion. Oh, that was a mean comment. I shouldn't say that. That just kind of came to me. Because I don't want to say anything about her body. You can't help some things, right? Um, Oh, teaspoon. Okay, I will light a candle for you also, and I'm sending all the positivity and big hugs your way. I hope the test results are positive. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for being here. Pinky Lynn says, being a narcissist a learned behavior, or are you born that way? I don't really know the answer to this, Pinky Lynn. I imagine it's a little bit of both, because our genes, they really do predisposition us to certain behaviors and characteristics. But if you grow up in a loving home, yeah, it comes down to nature versus nurture, right? And it's I don't know, it's a coin toss, right? If you're genetically predispositioned but you grow up in a loving household, you may grow up with a healthier personality because it was modeled for you that way. But let's look at the opposite. If you weren't predispositioned to become a narcissist, but you're around a lot of toxic people and you learn their behaviors, um, I think it could go both ways, I feel. Hi, Ivy of House Bark. Deborah says, I think they're not showing them being together so they can They cancel palace, they aren't together, so they may fall that they have distance from each other, but they're very much together. Megan doesn't plan, she schemes. That's very well said, Janet. Wyatt Holmes says Megan is a narcissist. Control is her middle name. She's insecure. She's manipulative. It's a form of survival. Megan is the evil stepsister. Yeah. A weakened stepmother. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. Or one of the jealous stepsisters. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lisa, and that's what I mean. Like she's so strategic with certain things, right? But then she has worms in her food, a messy home, a sloppy look. Yeah. Yeah. Megan was Wyatt Holmes says Megan was abandoned by her mother and overcoddled by her father. Carol says, "What I learned, it is part of our control childhood and is a need of control and having an inferiority complex. Narcissist is an answer for those issues." Yeah. 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 All right, everyone. Give me 1 second. My air conditioner's on and I'm freezing. And I'm gonna sip my tea. So I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I am back. Sue. Oh my goodness. From the mice, which one I identify with, and I'm sure so many of us do, with Gus Gus. I'm like Gus Gus, trying to gather 5 pieces of cheese, put them under my chin and carry them, just because I only want to make 1 trip. I don't want to make 2 trips. I just want 1 trip. Yeah. Okay, the article continues and says Tom Bauer, writing in his bestseller Revenge, looks back on the early days of Harry and Meghan's romance, where he claims the former Suits actress meticulously planned how to out Prince Harry as her boyfriend. In Meghan Markle's life, little happened by chance. Beyond the empathetic smile was a woman who disrupted spontaneity and liked to control every aspect of her life. In late September 2016, nothing was more important to her than her relationship with Harry, Bowers said. And again, this is just another way of saying how she controls everything, how she really has a strategic mindset because she knew what she wanted, she knew exactly how she had to get it, and she just set all the dominoes in motion. The article continues and says, according to the Royal Insider, it was around this time that Meghan decided that her career needed an adjustment. So in October 2016, her Wikipedia was purged of any reference to her work on Deal or No Deal and her time as a model. A section headed Humanitarian Work was inserted in its place, which referenced her speech at a United Nations women's event in New York, among other achievements. So you can see the first strategy is polish up the image because she's getting ready to step onto the world stage as Harry's significant other. And in Meghan's mind, of course, she wants to rush it through to the end, but she might also be thinking, like, hey, even if I date him for a short while, that'll put me on the world stage. So she was setting herself up for that already. Um, And actually, let's rewind even a little bit more than that. I believe that at least in 2014, late 2014, this plan had started. And I say late 2014 because that's when Meghan did that USO trip um, where they traveled over Christmas to, I think, 5 different American bases in different countries. I haven't seen Megan show any interest in military at all since then. I mean, other than Invictus, but that's just a fashion show for her. And then there's the 2016 trip to Rwanda. Again, strategic. Megan herself has said, and right now I'm just remembering in the Oprah interview, that her and Harry's connection, one of the earliest connections was how they really wanted and were had a connection to Africa. So all of that is strategy too. So not only so she jazzed up her Wikipedia, but she had to do activities on the back end in order to be able to get her Wikipedia to look how she wants it to look. Let me see some of your comments. Oh, Peekaboo is asking everyone to please hit the like button. I would appreciate it very much if you do. Um, Also, apparently, Trevor Engelson didn't give Megan much parts. He felt you should earn them. He lived by his ethics, and Megan didn't like that. Absolutely, because Megan sees relationships, and we'll get into that in a little bit in this video. Megan views relationships as stepping stones. How can they get to where she wants to go? And that ties into her being strategic. How can I benefit from this person? Because I want to get to point A and I need person C to do XYZ so I can get to point A. Right. So, yeah, that should have been a red flag for him, seeing her being more interested in exposing the relationship rather than being discreet. And Lizzie will get into that too. I don't think he saw, but according to Tom Bauer in this article, the friends knew she was gearing up to out him. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yay, everyone. Yes, please help me and Royal Daily Tea get to 50K. I'm almost at 46K right now. And I think, okay, so on Sunday, I'll have a celebratory live stream with some special guests at 9 a.m. So the same time that this live stream is, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then an hour later at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Michelle from Royal Daily Tea, she's having her live stream. So we have a really good schedule, I think, going on Sundays. Yep, MM was copying Angelina. Yeah, again, total fakery. Total fakery. Let's see. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so what I wanted to say next is that this whole jazzing up the Wikipedia is something called image laundering. Image laundering is when someone deliberately reshapes our public image to appear more virtuous, successful, or likable than their real history or actions would naturally suggest. It's like cleaning up a reputation, removing parts of your past that don't fit the persona you want, and replacing them with narratives that make you look morally elevated, relatable, or inspiring. And there are four ways that this image laundering can happen. The first is editing history. So that's removing or downplaying unflattering details. In the case of Megan, it's purging her Wikipedia of the deal or no deal information or her modeling information. The next is reframing achievements. So this would be highlighting humanitarian work or global impact projects to look philanthropic. The way we can say that this is a reframing of achievements is that once she got what she wanted, we haven't seen any actions to show she's continued or expressed interest in those same things. The third is strategic publicity. So, attending high profile events, leaking private photos, or staging moments to suggest a desired narrative. The strategic publicity that we see with Megan around this same time was her playing up that speech that she gave at the UN, which we find out later was actually not the main room that the event was being held, but in a side room. And then finally, there's this association laundering. So attaching yourself to respected people, causes, or institutions to boost credibility. So you can argue and say Megan was doing image laundering in order to get to Harry, but once she got to Harry, she used Harry again for more image laundering. And narcissists do these things for three different reasons. The first is they want to control the narrative. They want to dictate how others perceive them rather than leaving it up to reality or other people's natural accounts. The second is they want to attract high value relationships. Crafting a humanitarian global change maker image positions Megan as a desirable partner, friend, or ally. And finally, it's to build public social leverage. A polished, virtuous persona can make it harder for critics to call out inconsistencies because the brand looks untouchable. We know that Megan has done this because anytime someone criticizes Megan, we hear the Sussex squad. We hear people come out and say, but she did so much good work. And how could you say that when she's done so much work for X, Y, and Z? You can see this is the reason why she does it. Let me catch up on your comments. Let's see. Yeah, all relationships for Megan are transactional. Oh my goodness, look who's here. Hi, Sandra. I feel I haven't chatted with you in forever. And I know that it's so late in your time zone, right, Sandra? Oh, but I thank you so much for being here and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if people know. Should I say it, Sandra? Should I out you like Megan outed Harry? I'm gonna say because now I make it sound like it's a bigger deal than it is. Sandra was my 28th subscriber, everybody, and I'm just so thankful, Sandra, that you've been here with me along this journey, and I'm so thankful for everybody that's here on this journey with me. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Wyatt Holmes says Harry was so desperate for love that he was primed for ensnarement. Yeah, he absolutely was. Lisa, similar type of thing, right? Allegedly. Yeah. Um, I think at this point it's no longer working, but in 2020, people lost their jobs for criticizing Megan. Up until then, it worked. It did work, but sometimes these types of people can only hold it together for so long. Yeah. Let's see. It's 2:31 a.m. for Sandra. Well, thank you so much for being here. Okay, everyone, I'm going to have one more sip of tea and we're going to get right back into the article. All right, everyone. Okay. So the article continues and says, and surprisingly, 2 weeks later, Megan emailed her agent, Gina Nelthorpe Count, to announce the end of her acting and commercial career. I realized it meant losing her as a friend as well as a client, Gina told Bauer. The relationship between Megan and Gina, I mean, there's so much to say about how Megan really didn't treat this woman well. I mean, if you want to know the dynamics of a narcissistic friendship, this is it. I was reviewing some of the things that Megan did towards Gina, and I think it's time for a video about that. But I do want to talk about one specific thing that Megan did to Gina. And that's going to be the next few things that we'll talk about. So the first thing I want to say is that there's this narrative supremacy over personal relationships, and that means that the narcissist will protect and control their personal image or public story, and that is valued more than maintaining real life connections with people. Megan cutting it off with Gina right after deciding to reposition herself shows that she's protecting her curated image, and that took priority over maintaining personal connections. This shows that Megan views relationships as transactional. People are valued only for how they support the desired narrative or personal brand. Once they're no longer useful, they're discarded. There's control over perception that's happening here too. Keeping relationships only with those who align ensure there's no internal conflict threatening the image being constructed. We'll get into this in just 1 second. That really one of the big things that Megan was doing here was trying to control how Harry perceived Megan. And there's a low tolerance for dissent. Anyone who questions, resists, or doesn't fit the new version of the story is quickly removed, even long term allies or friends. And this reminds me of a moment that is talked about in Tom Bower's Revenge, where when Megan first tells Gina that she's dating Harry, Gina, as a friend, tells her, be careful what you're doing. Try to warn her of the paparazzi and how she may not ever be able to act. And Megan snapped at her and said, "Save it, Gina. I don't want to hear it." So imagine being a friend to someone, trying to give them a little bit of insight into what they're going to. And there's such a low tolerance for it that Megan snaps at her. And eventually it's the relationship ends and she's discarded. Let me catch up on your comments. Oh, that wouldn't surprise me through the looking glass. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And that's true, oh lemon. We all have narcissistic tendencies. And I've also heard that if someone asks if they're a narcissist, that that's generally a sign that they're not because there's self-awareness there. And I mean, I have narcissistic tendencies too, right? Like I love when I get compliments on this channel, and I'm trying to think of other examples. I love winning. Like this is all true. When I'm at work, I love getting recognized and the a lot of us have that, but it's also it's also how relationships were modeled to us because when I look back at I don't know, even pre-2022, I had toxic behaviors that align with narcissism, I and it's because that's what was modeled for me. Or when I was in a survival state, that's how I had learned to cope with certain things. So I think self-awareness is everything. And if there's something that we feel we want to change, um, recognizing it is the first step. MCF says that's interesting that you would ask someone if that was a true statement of their height. You should just go with what you're comfortable with and not worry about the other party. You know what it was, MCF? I think part of me knew he was lying. And that's why I asked that question. I really think, like, in my gut, I knew he wasn't being forward. And I think maybe that was my first, I don't want to say test, but either he lied or he didn't lie. Right. So I think that may be why I asked. And I don't know, I really wanted to wear high heels, but I didn't want to wear high heels and be too tall. I don't know, MCF. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Carol says Gina was cut off due to Gina raising issues having a relationship with a royal. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Wyatt Holmes says anyone who knows Megan before certain eras of her fabricated life will be dropped. Yep, they are the past to her. And they risk exposing her. Charlie says Megxie has a good sense of humor though. When she said she left her career for getting married into the British royal family. Oh my gosh, Charlie, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Teaspoon. Thank you, Teaspoon, for validating me. I wasn't able to say the words like I wanted to, but Teaspoon is saying that when they were with their narc, they did it too. It was protection. Yeah. Wyatt Holmes says empathy and self awareness are necessary features to offset the narcissistic traits all humans carry. There's a balance. The problem starts when it's lopsided one way or the other. Thank you, Wyatt Holmes. Very, very well said. Very well said. Okay, so what I wanted to do was get into a specific incident that shows how nasty Megan really was to Gina. So this article was actually published just a couple of months ago and is titled How Megan Shunned a Former Friend and Business Partner Who Warned Her About Marrying into the Windsors, Royal Insider Book Claims. So again, this book that they're talking about here is Revenge by Tom Bauer. And it begins. It says it was February 2018, and Prince Harry and Meghan were on their first trip to Scotland together. So this is 3 months before the wedding. 3 months before the wedding. So Meghan needs to make sure that there's nothing that's a hindrance to that altar. The article continues and says Bauer wrote that Gina Nelthorpe Cowan, who was Meghan's former business advisor, was among the guests visiting a homeless shelter in the Scottish capital alongside the couple. Gina was reportedly told to stand with Meghan's group of associates, who she would mingle with once inside the building. But as the couple arrived at the center, Gina was ushered towards Harry's group after being told a mistake had been made. You know what? I don't like how this article is describing it because I went back and I was reading it in Revenge, and I didn't want to read from Revenge word for word, but I think I have to because this article is sugarcoating what actually happened. Okay, so let's read what it says. The passage begins here. The highlight of Meghan's trip to Edinburgh was a visit to Social Bites, a center to help the homeless managed by Josh Littlejohn. By coincidence, Littlejohn was also a client of Gina Nelthorpe Cowan. At Littlejohn's suggestion, she was included in the 20 people awaiting Harry and Meghan in the center. Before they arrived, the 20 were divided into two groups, one to meet each of the couple. I used to work with Meghan, Gina told a palace official. I'd like to meet her. No problem, he replied, directing her to Meghan's group. Let's pause there. Okay, so Gina just happens to be in Scotland during this trip. This is 3 months before the wedding. All Meghan had done was just cut off their professional relationship, didn't really recognize that maybe their friendship was completely over too. There's a group of 20 people that are going to be split into two. Gina didn't show up on her own accord. Mr. Littlejohn, Josh Littlejohn, was the one that suggested Gina come and maybe see Meghan. Gina approaches one of the palace officials and says, I used to work with Meghan. I'd love to see Meghan. So Gina is now put on the side that's going to meet Meghan. The passage continues. 15 minutes later, as the crowd outside roared their welcome to the arriving couple, the palace official pulled Gina aside. Sorry, you're in the wrong group. We made a mistake. Please move to Harry's group. So they moved her. Someone let Meghan know Gina's waiting for her, and Meghan gave the command, move her to Harry's side. Can you imagine? Let's continue with the book passage. The couple entered and split up. I used to work with Meghan Nelthorpe Cowan told Harry directly. Did she make me go to your group? Harry didn't reply. Moments later, uh, sorry, I lost my. Okay, here we go. The couple entered and split up. I used to work with Meghan Nelthorpe Cowan told Harry directly. Did she make me go to your group? Harry didn't reply. Moments later, Meghan looked away from Nelthorpe Cowan. In disbelief, she walked towards Meghan. With obvious embarrassment, a palace official body blocked her. It's so shocking and nasty, and Harry knew. Harry ignored Gina's question. This is 3 months before the wedding. Such nasty, mean girl behavior. And this is why this example fits into what we were saying earlier about narrative supremacy over personal relationships because uh, point one, it's a transactional relationship. Gina was only valued for how she could help Megan move forward. Number two, control over perception. There's stuff that Gina knows that Megan probably doesn't want Harry to find out about. And finally, low tolerance for dissent. I think Megan was already not happy with Gina over Gina giving her good advice of the reality of what this relationship would do to her life. Yeah, Gina was ghosted. Gina was ghosted. Let's see. The chameleon nature of the narc on full blast. Yeah. What did I miss? What did Charlie Vaseline say? I'm gonna go find it. Let's go find it. Oh, yeah. You're right, Charlie Vaseline. That's the one we talked about a little bit earlier. Wyatt home. Megan wanted no connection, yeah, to her past, including people. They represented her past and everything that happened there. Hi, TMTV. Thanks for being here. Hi, Sexy B. I feel we haven't chatted in forever. Thanks for being here, Sexy V. All right, everyone. So let's continue with the article. I'm going to skip all of this because I think reading from Tom Bauer's Revenge was just summarized it so much better. This article you can see is playing it down compared to what it says in Revenge. Oh, look who's here, everybody. Hi, Royal Daily Tea. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, everybody go give Michelle a follow and a subscribe. She and I are on the path to 50K. We're getting there. We're getting there for sure. Um, and on Sunday, I will have my live at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and at 10 a.m., Michelle will be having hers. Thank you. Thank you. It's almost 1 year. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're doing it together, Michelle. We're doing it together. It's a hustle. And so I've really been I've had a lot more free time since I've been laid off. So I've been really hustling on on YouTube and trying to do lives like as often as I can. So yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Ivy of House Spark is mentioning how Royal Daily Tea did wine testing of Megan's wine and some other celebrities' wine. So go check it out. Royal Michelle, if you can drop your link in the chat, um, that would be awesome. But her username, everybody, is Royal Daily Tea. So go find her. She's great. Follow her. It's just so lovely in this community. What great friendships there are here. Okay, everyone. So let's get back to this. Um, the original article continues and says the timing of everything that month had been carefully planned, even down to the Halloween birthday party the couple attended in Toronto with Princess Eugenie and her boyfriend. Here's Megan being strategic again. It's wild to me. Um, she planned all of this out. And if I can ask everyone, please also to hit that like button. We have 140 people here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you so much. Okay. The article continues and says, here Megan shared a photo on Instagram of her secret Halloween date. Bauer said most at the party were in no doubt that Megan was outing Harry. So see, everyone around them knew this was Megan's plan. It doesn't say Harry knew that he was being outed, but people at the party knew what she was up to. The article continues and says, for her own good reasons, she wanted the relationship to be publicized. In media hype, some would call it the greatest story since the abdication. Yikes. So, this is one of her tweets. This is October 31, 2016. I mean, one of her Instagram posts. If I'm not mistaken, the story of them dating broke on October 30th. So the day before this, but um I'm going off of my memory on that. So here's Megan holding that pumpkin really weird. What a weird way to hold it up, right? Do you guys notice that too? Her hands? It doesn't seem that it's very supportive. Um, her caption says, "Happy Halloween, friends." We see that both Jessica Mulroney and her makeup artist, Danielle Martin, commented on it. I did wonder, though, what they mean by Megan sharing a photo on Instagram of her secret Halloween date. The only thing I can think of is this picture, which is an absolutely terrifying picture. This picture scares me, but I don't know if this was ever posted on her Instagram. The what usually when people are talking about the photo she shared about her secret Halloween date, they show this picture. So I don't know exactly which one it was, but my guess is that it's this one. The article continues and says the ploy worked. Megan gained 100,000 new followers, and journalists received numerous tips about the clothes and accessories Megan was wearing. Don't you wish Megan, or don't you think that Megan wishes right now that she could announce that she's dating a different prince so she could gain 100,000 new followers? Imagine the payoff worked. She was just Meghan Markle then, right, on Suits, not very well known, and she gained 100,000 subscribe or new followers overnight, and she started merching stuff even more. She got more, visibility to merch. Let's see what everyone is saying. Oh, you have to be a mod to drop a working link. Maybe I can do it. Let me see. Let's get my keyboard in front of me. And I think Lizzie posted it. So I wonder if I can go to Lizzie's message. Can I copy it? No, I can't. Okay, give me a second and I will try to drop it in the comments. Sorry, everyone. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Where's the share button? Here, I'm just going to copy this. Did that work? I hope it works. Oh, it's still. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. It didn't show up as like a hyperlink, unfortunately, even though I posted it. Oh, it worked. Oh, good. Oh, great. Okay, good. Maybe I just can't see it because I'm using StreamYard. Okay, awesome. Yay. Yay. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is talk about how this is what Megan did here is strategic narrative control and future positioning. The and I'm going off of that statement in the article that says the timing of everything that month had been carefully planned. Within weeks, Megan ended her acting career. She edited her Wikipedia to emphasize humanitarian work. She attended a carefully chosen Halloween party with Eugenie and posted a secret date pic, all signaling deliberate brand repositioning. The malignant narcissism angle here is that there's future faking. Megan is crafting a narrative in which she's already positioned as a royal level humanitarian before anything is official. There's grandiose self imaging. She's reshaping her personal history to fit the storyline she wants others to believe. And there's control through publicity. By outing the relationship herself, she forced Harry and the palace onto her timeline, creating perceived inevitability and reducing the risk of rejection. It's wild. It's wild. All of You can see so many narcissistic traits in just this one action of having the world find out who she was dating. Yeah. And I wanna close this out with one of the other things I'm seeing here. The article mentions that there were matching bracelets that Harry and Meghan had, and that Harry's private Instagram followed Meghan. This leads into or it sounds to me like emotional manipulation and bonding acceleration. Subtle public signals like matching bracelets act as relationship cementing tools. They deepen perceived intimacy and signal exclusivity. This taps into love bombing optics, presenting the relationship as something unusually deep and fated, making Harry feel uniquely chosen. But it also weaponizes public perception. Once the media hypes their connection, Harry faces pressure to maintain the relationship. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through we're going to go through quite a few images of Megan showing off that bracelet. Just to provide some background on it, I wanted to go through this Daily Mirror article. We're only going to read a couple of things about it. The article is titled Meghan and Harry's Matching Bracelet When Dating in Secret, also significant not to Diana. I'm not going to go into that Diana part of it, but it says in 2016, Meghan shared a snap wearing almost identical beaded bracelets to ones previously worn by Prince Harry. This sparked suggestions he may have given them to his new girlfriend as a gift. The Suits actress showed off the multicolored bracelets in an Instagram post in October of that year. In the post, she reminisced on her trip to the Soho farmhouse in Oxford. She snapped a selfie while sitting, holding a coffee cup, adding to the caption, hashtag TBT, to my solo trip to SFH members. Treat yourself, UK Soho farmhouse. And it says, meanwhile, Harry was spotted wearing an almost identical design during a briefing on the charity MAP Action in March 2016. So this is Harry wearing the bracelet. Unfortunately, I couldn't get dates. And I wish if I had more time, I would find out the dates of these Instagram posts that I'm going to show you and also of Harry wearing them. The article here does mention that she posted it in October of that year. But again, their relationship wasn't outed until towards the end of October. So if she was, my assumption would be she was already posting these in early October. She was ready for the news to break, and she was definitely nudging it along. Okay, so here's that original tweet that article was talking about. Um, Talking about her solo trip to the Soho farmhouse, and there was one. Oh, it's not in this one, but you can see she's wearing the bracelets, and in fact, if you look at Megan, the most vibrant thing seems to be the coffee and the bracelets, and in fact, I wonder if there's any people that know a lot about photography, please let me know. Does the bold cup make the eyes naturally go down to the bracelet? Because when you look at the picture, the first thing you wanna look at is the cup, right? Or the mug. And now she only wears the bracelet from Trevor. Well said, Wyatt Home. Well said. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the next one. Again, I wish we had the date. This one, the caption says, "Friendship bracelets with Millie McIntosh, Queen of Soho," wonder who that is, "Bunny Johnsey, Fifi Rosenfeld," and this is the one I thought was hilarious. The comment by Nermeen says she copied your post. Did she though? Did she copy someone? I'm curious to know. And then Megan commented and says, They had to be shared. They've been with me the entire month of travel, and now it's time to share the love. So she's talking to Jenny Bird, and Jenny Bird is actually the designer of that serpent bracelet that it looks like Megan is wearing and 3 other people are wearing. I can't see it on the 4th wrist. Blah, 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 Frankie. I thank God they moved us to America. They moved us to America? You mean you, Frankie? You moved to America? Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's continue. Here's another one. Again, I wish I had the date. The caption says Friday morning, Ikebana vibes. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Now off to the set for Suits. Yeah, here we go. There it is, guys. And the hairy bracelets are the ones that are the closest to the flowers. I really do wonder if these are photography tips to make sure that the eyes naturally go over to the bracelets. I'm gonna look into that. Um, ChatGPT is actually really good about this. If you ever want to edit your thumbnails and whatever, and you want to know where the eyes naturally flow based on a picture, um, ChatGPT can do that. And it's important if you have a logo or a thumbnail or an advertisement because you want to see where people's attention will gravitate to, so that you place important parts of your image in particular spots. Yeah, definitely little Easter eggs for people to guess who she's dating. Are those combinations of bracelets ugly? It's a lot of bracelets. I personally like to be color coordinated. Yeah. I haven't worn that many bracelets since high school. TM says. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go to the next one. Her passport is there, the grapes are there. You guys, I'm hungry, I want some grapes. And it says, "Another fun whirlwind in New York, shooting for Bobby Brown and cheering on my number 1 Serena Williams at the US Open. Now it's time to get back to work." Yeah, I'm trying to read through the comments. Yeah, I wonder when this was too. It should be easy to figure out since it mentions Serena Williams at the US Open. But again, the blue bracelets are the ones on top. And look, she wore them when she met Justin Trudeau. She wore them when she was in that car with Bobby Brown. So these were this bracelet was everywhere. She wore it all the time, dropping hints. Now, if any of you in the chat or who are watching this on the replay know the dates of these images, please feel free to drop them because I think there's so much information that we can glean from that. All right, everyone. Let's see how everyone is doing in the chat. Yeah, they're gonna make you take them off if you're going to film. Yeah, well, she was wearing them to tip off the media. Look at my left arm. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Okay, so let's do a couple of announcements. So on Sunday will be my celebratory live stream for my 1 year anniversary, and it's going to be exciting. I hope you all can join. That one is already on the calendar. I'm going to have a live tomorrow. I'm hoping to get. Oh, it's going to be a members live tomorrow, where I'm going to go through. Actually, wait. Let me rewind. I'm going to have a live on Friday and on Saturday. One of those lives will be a members live, one of them will be a public live. In the members live, I'm going to go through some of my original tweets on X, and I've remastered the videos that I made all the way back then, and we're going to talk through them. After the live is finished, I will clip it out and post it publicly. So if you want to be able to join for the live stream and be part of the conversation, there should be a join button so that you can become a member. But in either case, a few hours after that, I will be posting the clipped out version, going through it same day. I just don't know if it'll be Friday or Saturday. It depends how much of the editing I can finish today. I have a lot of the clips ready made. I just want to make sure that we're in a good place. So that'll be either Friday or Saturday. Keep your eyes out for it. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.